Hello and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts.
My name's Phoebe.
And my name is Caroline. And today we are recapping Pretty Little Liars Season 6, Episode 12. And it is called Charlotte's Web, which is an iconic title, but I have to say something. Okay, confession time. A little bit of a snooze fest of an episode.
I was about to say I thought it was actually a pretty good episode. It was a lot of, again, a ton of writing.
And you want to know why?
I started a new notebook today, and it's bigger.
Wow.
And I feel like that kind of recharged my, I'm actually, this is gonna have to be the kind of notebook that I buy going forward.
Show me. Let's see.
It's got the rings.
Spiral bound is what that's called.
Right, but in a way where this is hard. See what Mom got me?
Wait, I have the same one.
Kind of.
I have the same exact notebook, Phoebe.
Did Mom get it for you?
Yes.
There we have it.
Wow, I can't believe she didn't tell us she got us the same freaking notebook. How embarrassing would that be if you and I showed up to a special airport lounge, okay? And we both pull up to record and we both pull out our notebooks and all the people in there are like, what? What happened?
That'd be so weird. That'd be so weird.
I'm feeling a little bit silly today.
Awesome. I just love this kind of notebook, and it makes me want to write a lot. And our cousin Elizabeth got me as part of my Christmas present these glitter pens that I was unsure about.
Wow.
Because I'm very particular about pens.
We know.
And these are great pens.
And they're glittery, and you like the glitter. You like the added sparkle.
Yes, but it still writes the way that one of my a pilot would. But I like doing my notes. I like doing each episode that we do in a different color, so it's easy to find in my notebook. So I have multiple different colors of these that I can use. But anyway, all this to say, I couldn't tell if the book was actually making me if the episode was actually making me write a lot, or if I was just more willing to write. But even though I was more willing to write, I was still getting annoyed with myself because I kept pausing so that I could write a bunch of stuff down.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 hours to watch the episode this morning.
Yeah, I felt like this episode just felt long, and I don't know, maybe I'm just having a little bit of a bad attitude towards it because of the things I had to watch, and not only watch but remember.
But we're still not getting full disclosure.
I know. And I'm just let's cut to the fucking chase.
Part of me is are they even together yet?
Okay, well,
or were they together, and are they?
Really feel like you should know that at this point. Just gonna say that. But yeah, no, as I was watching it, Phoebe, I was like, wait, are they not even together yet? Is Spencer pining for him and they're not together? And so if that's true, I don't know if that makes me like it less or more, but because then it's, I guess they're being a little bit less secretive about it, but it seems like they definitely fucked.
Yes, but it makes me like it less because let's say they didn't have to go back to Rosewood and they were just seeing each other in DC, and Spencer and Hannah are always going to have a bond because of what they all went through. Mm-hmm. But if it's not that I would be okay if one of my friends did this, but I think that it would be easier to rationalize and maybe get behind if they hadn't seen Hannah in a long time. Whereas if they aren't together right now and come back to Rosewood, spend all this time with Hannah, and then they're actually, we are going to give this a shot.
That would feel so much worse as Hannah, you know what I mean? Because and obviously Hannah's dealing with some inner conflict regarding seeing Caleb, how she feels about all this, and just all the past being brought back up, and what that's doing. But I think if I'm Hannah and I find out that Caleb comes back and sees me after however many years, and then it did nothing to him, I'm questioning my engagement. It did nothing to him. In fact, it made him have the hots for my friend enough to act on it, and they hadn't acted on it for 3 whole years. All it took was seeing me. And they fled to each other's arms.
On another note, Aria never fails to be anything other than herself.
Oh, and what we mean by herself is a massive biatch. Okay, she is a massive freaking biatch. I literally can't believe that I just also
the gaslighting, the outright gaslighting at the top of the episode.
Gaslighting, as well as the immediate defense mechanism being, let me like make you feel like shit about yourself. Like that's just like her signature move, which I fucking hate. And then also, why is she obsessed with being in a secretive relationship? She can't stand just being fucking for real and normal. Like she's obsessed with being in a relationship that she has to hide. She knows nothing else, it seems, because she's either dating her teacher or she's cheating on someone. So no matter what, she has to hide who she's boning her whole life.
Part of it, and obviously we know that in her relationship with Ezra, she was like a victim, but I also think that she is someone who likes having something to point to be like, they're out to get me.
Yeah.
So but like later on in the episode when she's trying to think of reasons why she doesn't get to do Ezra's thing anymore, she's like, oh my God, they know about us.
Yeah.
They know about us. And this is her way of getting back at me and trying to put a wedge between you and me.
Like, okay, Aria. I mean, they probably do. I can't believe they don't know about you. That is,
you guys made out in the office.
That is. But I guess I thought you meant her
Ezra
and Ezra.
Her did. No. I mean, her
and Liam.
Well, yeah, I am like, when is she just gonna be like? Okay, wait. He was my high school English teacher, but like when I went to college, we like, hooked up a little bit. And you don't have to say that you met in a bar when you were 16,
right?
I also had a question that came up in this episode when Aria goes to Ezra's apartment and goes in, and he offers her a drink, and I was like, wait, that puts their relationship when she was in high school in a completely different perspective, because it's like you could. Was she illegally drinking with you and your illegal relationship, or did you have to think about that every time you'd be like, do you want a glass of what? You can't drink.
Well, I highly doubt that was ever happening. I highly doubt he was like, would you like a glass of, oh, I forgot, you can't drink. I think they were as much as possible trying to pretend that she was not an age that couldn't do things. Like, I think they were pretending, so they just weren't going to restaurants. They were just going to have the bottle of wine at home, and they just don't have to worry about, are they going to card? Are they going to do all that? Like, we'll just pretend here that what we're doing is okay in any way, shape, or form, and we'll keep living as though we are not criminals. Well, not we, sorry. Well, I guess Aria is a criminal if she's drinking under the age of 21.
Yeah. And if we're following Allie's D-O-N-E done with Aria
to take a nail, take a hammer, and bang, bang, bang the nail in that coffin. She's like, hey, Aria, you're kind of fucking dead to me now. Hey, Aria, I killed Cece. Just so you know, I killed Cece, but I didn't really like how you talked about her in the courtroom. I didn't really like that you did the opposite of what I asked you to do. So yeah, you're going to spend the rest of your fucking life behind bars. I killed Charlotte, and I'm going to put it on you, you little bitch. Like, that's Allie's vibe. I don't think that's what happened, but like, that's Allie's whole thing. That's her whole vibe. So
Allie is so funny in this episode, and she's also annoying. She's funny, correct, and also incredibly annoying.
Correct. And it's like, we really do, as females, contain multitudes. Okay, Phoebe, why don't you get into the recap so we can get the ball rolling?
All right. So last episode, we're back. We're 5 years after high school. They're all out of college. We meet Cece's doctor, Dr. Rollins, who is talking to Allie about like how they're gonna get Cece out. She's like done with treatment. She should be okay to kind of re-assimilate back into society after her treatment. And the liars have to come back to Rosewood to testify in court that like their life won't be affected, and they aren't really scared if Cece were to come out of treatment and live in the world. And they're kind of like, I don't know, we've had some really good 5A free years. We find out that Spencer is in DC, and also that Vivi is going to be up for state senate. Aria works for a publishing house, which is the same publishing house that published Z's first book. And they also gave him an advance on book 2, but he is kind of suffering from some writer's block because he and Nicole, you'll remember Nicole, the habitat, and you know I struggle to say habitat. What are you doing? Are you putting me in jail? Wait, I hope it looks like that picture of Pam that A sent Emily like seasons ago when they were gonna have Pam arrested for child abuse.
Yeah, no, I know.
Remember when A was gonna have Pam arrested for child abuse?
That was crazy.
And that it just so happened to be like the week Pam was like PMSing that week and threw Emily like against a wall in front of Rosewood.
Yeah, I remember when Pam hulked out. Yeah.
Anyway, Ezra went to Thailand and he and Nicole, I guess, hit it off, and they ended up going to Colombia to build more houses. Ezra got sick, and so he got sent home. And in that month of time when he was home, a bunch of, and forgive me if I get this wrong, it's kind of hard to keep up here. I believe a bunch of Colombian revolutionaries stormed their camp. And so now a bunch of the people from that Habitat for Humanity trip are either missing or dead. And Nicole's one of them. We don't really know. And Ezra's like in his jaded era. And I guess that makes sense considering what happened to his girlfriend. But it's just like he's so annoying when he's angry. So there's that. And college was not for Emily. And we find out more about that later. Just how it was not for Emily. Just how much it was not for Emily. And also Wayne passed away. Allie says she wants a shot at a real family for her and Cece. And that's why she's inviting the girls back. She tries to convince them. But of course, Aria has to be different and is the only girl out of all the girls, including Mona, who came literally to say that she didn't want Cece to be let out. She changes her tune after she's like, wait, Aria, bad look. Because Aria gets up there and she's like, I don't want Cece to be released. I don't want her to be released. She scares the hell out of me. And we also find out that she cried on a train, and I'm sure that wasn't the only time that happened. The judge approves Cece's exit, and the girls are like, I kind of just thought even if we all went in there, we could just tell one more lie for Allie, and this wouldn't actually happen, but it did. The next morning, Allie calls Hannah at the hotel to tell all of the girls that Cece went missing. Actually, she says, did Cece come over to y'all's hotel room last night? And the girls are like, I hope not, but we don't know. But what we do know is that she's dead. She's dead in front of the freaking church.
Cece Drake was dead as a doornail.
Was dead as a doornail. And so they all go to the funeral. Guys, this is such a convoluted recap. Sorry. We go to the funeral and Shower shows up and she like, okay, they said we're not giving the actress Shower Harvey any more lines, but we're going to give her gloves and we're going to write into the script, look at them like Medusa, like you could turn them into stone with your eyes, but act like you're Medusa in like an 8th grade level play. Not Medusa in a professional sense. And then after the funeral, Officer Lorenzo, who stole Toby's promotion, by the way, if you even
just
care.
Call him Lo. Just call him Lo.
That's how I wrote him in my notes, by the way.
Yeah, because I'm not typing
every time.
I'm sorry about typing Lorenzo. That's crazy. I'll type Lieutenant Butterscotch, but I will not type Lorenzo.
So you must be so good at spelling lieutenant now.
No, I write LT.
Oh.
I usually,
Do you think you could spell
it? Write LB or LTB.
Do you think you could spell it?
LIEUTENANT.
That's probably right. Don't look at me like I have it.
Well, I thought you were. I thought you. Oh, I assumed you knew.
No, and honestly, the amount of times I avoided having to write surveillance footage by like figuring out any other.
SURVEILLANCE. It is hard to spell out loud though.
What? and on paper. And on paper.
I guess it on paper. Wait, never forget when I was at my friend's house. I was at my friend's house and she was typing something on the computer and I was like, why does your computer give you all these fun little underlines? Like, my computer does not give me these fun little underlines when I'm typing. I had no idea. And then she was spelling everything wrong. And then when I type, I'm spelling everything right. So it wasn't giving me the like, remember how it did like a red like zigzag underline?
It still does that.
Okay, well, sorry. I never experienced it ever, obviously. But isn't that funny? I remember being like, what is that? I wish my computer did that. And then I like went home and asked mom about it. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I started typing. And then like,
I was like, that doesn't happen to me.
Eventually I figured it out.
Oh my God. Anyway, he's like, you guys should probably stick around. This is a murder investigation, not a suicide. And then Patsy Cline starts to say, we find out that Cece was actually dead before she fell from the bell tower. So that's a nice little wrinkle. Mm-hmm. And that's the recap. Sorry that took me 5 minutes.
No, it was amazing, Fee. So we're starting at the brew and we're trying to figure out when everyone sort of told their partners, mostly when Hannah told Jordan about everything that happened to them. And she says
the things you can't Google.
Exactly. The things you can't Google. And Hannah was like, well, when I knew I was falling in love with him, and we find out that Aria hasn't told Liam yet. So does that mean you're not in love with Liam? Does that mean Z's got a chance?
Well, maybe maybe it's a little newer.
Well, she's leaving tonight. Aria is going back to Boston because she's already missed a few days of work, and she looks at them as though none of them have jobs. And Hannah goes, yeah, we all have, and we're staying. And Aria's like, well, okay, well, my job's important. My job matters. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Hannah. My job matters. I'm doing work that feeds not only you, but my soul, okay? I'm sorry. I can't be in the soul-sucking suburban hellscape any longer. I'm not like you guys. I've never been like you guys.
She's like, the other night, I tried to get pizza at 4 a.m. and couldn't find it.
Couldn't even do it. It was like nobody cared that I wanted pizza. It was like nobody cared that I wanted pizza. Hannah, you live in New York. You should get this.
Hannah, you of all people should get it.
You of all people should get it. Or I guess, I don't know. I mean, you probably stay inside all day. Like, I don't know. You're not really like a vagabond, like exploring the world like I am and always have been, by the way.
I didn't want to say anything, but I did hear that you don't even live in the city. I heard you live in New Jersey. So
I heard that you live in New Jersey. And so I just, yeah.
It's telling me to tell you to plug your charger in.
What is it saying to you?
It says Caroline Connell's battery is less than 20%. Heads up. Tell them to plug it into a charger so your session doesn't get cut off.
Because it's also telling me that, and you want to know something? I'm actually using the Riverside app to record. Wait, was I supposed to be recording on?
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that.
It's okay.
Okay.
It doesn't really make a difference for me. It should be fine.
Well, I just plugged in Riverside and Phoebe. And by the way, don't tattle. And by the way, Riverside, stop tattling.
I know it is funny that
God.
they tell
what a
the other
narc energy.
What if we had been on that other business podcast? And that had happened. And that had shown to the girl,
the honey book girl, who would have to be like, and Caroline, a tip for running a business is that we do like to keep our computer above 20% battery. So if you do have a charger,
Caroline's like,
like a charger.
This is kind of my last 20%. it's this is
kind of it. So I guess we should wrap it up. Anywho, Aria is leaving tonight because, again, this was not an easy job for her to get, so she can't lose it. And all of your jobs were easy, apparently. So you guys have the luxury that I just don't have. That's Aria's whole vibe. Shower shows up at the Radley. Good to be home.
I did. I made a note of this pages later when I came up with this, but I don't believe that if you were at one point nearly charged with probably an act of domestic terrorism or attempted domestic terrorism in a building, even if it's like restored into something else, something tells me you're not allowed.
You don't get to go back
premises.
to that building. And I also feel like something tells me you're usually like not allowed out of a government building, like a jail, like usually like a prison sort of situation. But I guess that doesn't apply here. That doesn't apply to Shower because her hands are fucked up. Wait, is it both of her hands or just one? She's giving Elsa from Frozen. She totally is. She's
she can't even sign her own name and she can't even use a fork.
And they're like annoyed with her about that. They're like, okay, dramatic. A little bit dramatic, Shower. They like yell across the room. They're like, you literally can't sign your own name? Jeez, oh man.
You know who she should be friends with?
Who?
Is Jenna Marshall.
Oh my God, Shower. Wait, weren't they friends? No, that was wait, whatever happened to that girl? What happened to that girl that Jenna was close with and Emily, she was on the swim team? What was that girl's name? Sydney?
Oh, I was like, Shauna?
No,
she died.
No.
Yeah,
Believe
Sydney.
Aria won't let me forget what happened with Shauna. Okay, so, but anyway, they're like, to Shower, remember that night. And I'm like, it is just so amazing how history continues to repeat itself. Because were we not having the same conversation? Do you think Jenna knows what happened that night? Like, it's now gone from the Jenna thing to the Shower thing. And it's like the Shower thing sounds a little bit slutty. So Hannah's like, look, I bet she said she has Swedish syndrome to get her sentence reduced. And Spencer's like, it's Stockholm syndrome and it's a real thing. But there seems to be a little bit of a discrepancy. Like, was Shower actually kidnapped? Or like, was she living free and helping Cece, or was she kidnapped and helping Cece because she had Stockholm syndrome? I think the judge sees it as.
And I'm just gonna
Stockholm
say,
syndrome.
and I hate to rag on this actress, but like if we're gonna have this complicated storyline for a character, we needed to have someone who could deliver it. Because I wish, if this were gonna be the storyline, I wish you could go back and watch her performance after the dollhouse.
Oh
when,
my God.
Allegedly she's coming out and like seeing nuance to like. It's kind of like something that's happening on Severance right now, where it's like,
no spoilers.
You can see something, but the first time it's like you don't pick up on it. But it's only a really good actor can do that like nuance of like, maybe we'd be able to tell that Sarah, maybe there's more to the story, but instead she was just acting like a literal feral girl.
I would say there's no nuance at all with Shower Harvey. There's the one thing we're really lacking from the get-go was nuance.
Right. But they're basically saying, because we now know that she was out like running errands for Cece and like going to funerals and things like that, was she ever really kidnapped?
Right.
Or was it just that she was like, she became enamored with Cece through Stockholm syndrome? That like, it's a more complicated situation, but Aria doesn't give a shit. Aria's like, okay, Aria's I gotta go.
Well, GTG, like, sorry. And they all hug. And Hannah, I just love how it doesn't matter. Time passes. Hannah continues to be, just like Aria continues to be exactly who she is, so does Hannah. But it's like, great friend, beautiful girl, funny, and we love her, and she's stylish. It's like, that's who she continued to be. And so she's like, I'm going to walk you to your car. And the reason I think this is so nice is because she's not about to throw Aria under the bus. She's not going to do it in front of all these girls. And she goes and she's like, listen, Aria, like, I know.
And Aria still doesn't care.
No, she's like, I know you left the hotel the night Cece was killed. I just, like, where did you go? And so Aria says that she, like, woke up to check her email. She's obsessed with her fucking job and get her charger from the car. And Hannah's like, okay, well, like, I tried to wait up for you, and like I fell asleep, like you were gone a long time. And she goes, well, you're remembering wrong, which isn't a surprise considering how wasted you got. And Hannah's like, well, I wasn't even drunk. And she goes, so you threw up in the bathtub. And Hannah's like, that was Emily. And Aria's like, well, whatever. Like, and I'm just like, okay, Aria, you're such a bitch. You're such a bitch. And also, why do you think that like what you were doing is so interesting and secretive that anyone really gives a fuck? Like, no one cares that you saw Ezra, dude. Like, literally no one cares. I know that we find out what happened and like maybe there are some details we would care about, but like not really. Like, Hannah's gonna believe you. Hannah is gonna believe you. Just tell her the fucking truth.
When we find out the stuff that happened, it's like the police might think it's weird, but the
your
girls
friends are gonna get it.
They're not gonna implicate you in
it's like now that you've lied about it, Aria, now they think it's
more
weird.
Sus.
Like, but if you just had told Hannah like, oh, okay, well, I know how this looks, but like this is what I did, Hannah would be like, okay, let's figure it out, which is what she does anyway, by the way. But like, you didn't have to be a massive biatch right away about it. It just pisses me off that Aria just like her knee-jerk reaction is to be nasty. I hate it.
Just in her
and
blood.
like, we didn't have to know that Emily threw up in a bathtub, but Aria, because you decided to weaponize somebody's drunken behavior, now Hannah's like, well, I wasn't going to say it in front of the cameras, but that was Emily. Emily threw up in the bathtub. And now all the viewers know.
By the way, Aria, when we see you later that night when you're talking to Ezra, you seemed wasted.
Capable of throwing up in a bathtub energy.
Yeah.
I almost just called Aria Ree.
Like, I guess it's in there.
Okay, well, and I guess now it's canon.
That's what she is, Liam calling her.
Lee. Oh, we're hanging out with Lee and Ree. Their couple name is Lee Ree. They're like, no, Leary sounds too much like we're leering. Let's go really. Really? And it's like, that's what people say when they find out we're together. Because they're like, you guys are like, he's like, you guys are working it. Really? Okay, hot. You know what I mean? They can't believe it because it's such a secret. Did you guys miss the world building? Because apparently that's all this episode's going to be.
We go to the Hastings Castle and Spencer walks in and she's like, what the fuck are you two doing talking? And it's Caleb and Vivi.
She's like, Viv, you are already putting him to work. And that's where I'm like, you're acting like you're dating. Why would Vivi think she can put him to work if he's not your boyfriend?
Or if there was, like, here's the thing. There's only two scenarios where she would, and it's if they've been dating for a while or if there's nothing romantic at all and it's truly just
but they're actually like super, super, super close friends.
Yeah. That's the only, but if we're in this limbo area where it seems like we are, it's like, what is going on?
Yes. Maybe Vivi never in a million years thinks Spencer would do that to Hannah.
Right. Which I'm like, Vivi, take a look at her past.
Yeah.
I know that she was victimized, everybody, but I just, like, we just...
It is Spencer's whole thing. Sorry.
Blanket disclaimer on our opinions of it. She was victimized, but that also doesn't mean that she, like... If I had done that to Caroline still would have been a little... She would have broken up with the guy and, like, had him arrested, but she would have been mad at me.
Like, and here's the thing. Maybe the first time, I wouldn't have been mad at you. The second time, I would have been like, okay, like, I'm still gonna, like, go to jail for murder, but, like, hey, Phoebe, can you come, like, visit me in there? Because we need to work some things out. Like, we need to talk a little bit because, like, I think we need to do some soul searching, figure out what's going on with you that we're finding ourselves in these situations, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault, but this is the second time. I think that's how it would be, and I think that's okay.
And so I'm just like, Vivi should expect it, but we find out that there are a bunch of bloggers that are already trying. I'm like, okay, how contentious do state senate races get? Anyway, they're basically all these bloggers that are trying to connect Spencer.
There's literally this photo of Spencer that they pull up and
murderer.
Like, she's circled murderer, and she's like, I just think, Mom, like, you're gonna lose this election because of me. And Caleb's like, no, I'll hack the votes. I'm just kidding. I'm joshing. It's political humor. And he's like, but I am going to get 4,000 retweets for good tweets about Vivi, about Spencer. And I'm like, okay, Jed Wallace, Melissa Nathan. Okay,
buying followers.
Okay, the agency group. It's giving. Caleb's already got positive hashtags about Spencer trending. Like, this is what we were just talking about, you guys.
Spencer texts Caleb in the middle of the night a screenshot of
something like this.
Hailey Bieber smear.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Hailey Bieber, and, like, not that I want to do free promo, but I do really like the 2 Rhode products that I recently purchased and have been using, and I'll talk about it more on the Tuesday app. But so if you haven't listened, go listen. But I love Selena. I'm on Team Selena. Not that we need to pit women against each other, but I am on Team Selena, and I do love Rare Beauty, but I'm a big fan of Rhodes, so. Okay, there, I said it. I gave Hailey Bieber her flowers. Jeez, man. Okay.
So Caleb's going to fix it.
We're at the police station.
Yes, and Allie's in the waiting room. And she sees Shower. At first, I think Shower's coming in, but then I realize she's leaving. And then we hear Lorenzo, like, scream Allie's name in, like, an angry way. He goes, Allison? Okay, chill out. Okay,
I'm so curious about what their relationship is in this moment in time.
I know.
Because, like, they're not saying anything about it. And I'm like, for all I know, they're either, like, married and they've been married they've been together for 5 years. And so they're just like, they don't need to be all over each other, or they, like, ended amicably and they're fine, or they ended badly and they're just, like, being civil. Like, but I need a little bit more if he's going to continue to show up here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very weird. But he tells Allie that they are going to take Sarah off the suspect list because with her burns, she couldn't have done this because it was too violent of a death.
Yes, and we find out that Cece's neck was broken by blunt force trauma before she was thrown, and they're looking at everyone, but they are mostly looking at the liars. And Allie is like, no, my friends are not involved. Like, she's pretty adamant in this moment that they are not involved. What?
I might sound stupid, but how do they know that?
Blunt force trauma?
No. How do they know that that is what broke her neck? Or, like, how do they know that she was fully dead before she was thrown off the thing?
So I am not trying to make you sound dumb, and I'm not confirming that you sound dumb, but I am going to explain how I think they do this, and someone's welcome to correct me, but I do think this, like, when they do the report and everything, they can look at exactly where your neck was broken and, like, how it would have happened. And there would be a big difference between somebody choking you and breaking your neck and somebody taking, like, a really heavy object and smashing it down on your neck and breaking it. You know what I mean? Like, it will look different. And so I think that's how they can figure that out.
Oh, well, we also find that
so they're talking about how
it's
human nature also to dive head first, but that isn't how she, like, fell, and her nails were scrubbed clean also. Which, like, if she, you know, they probably would have, like, dirt in them and stuff like that. So there are, like, a lot of things that I think that they can find out in that way about it. And, like, if time of death, I don't know. I think and also, like, I think there are also, like, situational things, like, when did the dew start collecting on the grass? Was it before or after she was on the grass? You know what I mean? Like, even like things like that, they can figure out when she was dead, but when she fell and those kind of things. So I think that's how, but it just does take some time, you know, but yeah.
Then we go to the Fields house and Emily is doing some redecorating. She's moving her graduation picture behind a picture of her dad.
Okay, one thing I'll say about these girls too is that they have all continued to have the same exact, like none of them have actually been in therapy that much. They can say it all they want, but their attachment styles have not changed one bit, primarily Emily. Emily is classic, ignore it and it will go away. She was taught it by Alison De Laurentiis and she has lived by that ever fucking since. What has Emily had gone wrong that she has not tried to ignore until it went away? She literally gave herself stress ulcers. Like that is, you know what I mean? I'm thinking about like whatever's going on right now and the fact that she's just such a like suffer in silence kind of person. But even when it goes into like later on when we're thinking that it's Aria, it's like, well, let's just ignore it or let's just delete the thing and let's just pretend like we're going to avoid this. We're not going to tell the police. We're not going to deal with this. Like, let's just put our head in the fucking sand and mind our own business. And it's just crazy to think that like she is lying to this degree where like we have a picture of her in a cap and a gown and it appears to be her college graduation. And we are about to find out that she did not graduate college. I'm like, you have this photo and it's in your house and like you're going through all like this whole thing. Is this really easier? You know, is this really easier than just being like, my dad fucking died and I need to take a semester off? Like you know.
I know this is such a different scale, but Emily and I are similar. And the deck is an example.
Yes.
Me going to Lowe's for an hour and a half trying to figure out how to fix it.
Your older sister's 2 blocks away and like would have fucking helped you. But yeah, no, it's true. Like it's just I do the same thing sometimes and it's always usually better to just face it.
But Emily's on the phone making some kind of medical appointment and then Pam walks in and is like, Emily, I'm going to go water the flowers at your dad's grave. You should come tomorrow. You haven't been there since the funeral. And I don't even think she's seen the headstone before. And she's like, I can't go. I told Allie I'd be available to her all day. I told Allie I'd be available to her
really needs
all
me.
day.
She really needs me. What else is new? So next, we go to the hotel or the Radley where Hannah is staying. And Jordan, her Australian fiance, surprises her. Did not think he was going to have an Australian accent. Good for you, Hannah. He's cute.
He is. He's very cute.
But he's no Caleb. He's no Caleb.
Well, he's just so different than Caleb. Like, he's just not like...
This is like
he's
the
more of the Sean Ackard type.
This is giving like... Well, you know what it is? It's giving who Hannah looks to be and who she wanted to present as for so long, you know, is the version of the person of the girl that is thin and beautiful and works for a fashion company and has the tall, hot Australian boyfriend. You know, it's not the girl that dates the hacker, you know, and
the boy
from her
living
hometown.
In the walls of your school.
Exactly. But like that is who Hannah is inside. It's just never who she's wanted to present as, and it's never who she's wanted to be. And it's also who she was for the majority of the most traumatic days of her life. So it makes sense that she would try to really just like replace it with this version of her, because that's what worked for her when her friend went missing, you know, like she just pretended to be somebody else and that was how she coped and that was how she dealt with it. That's her go-to. They're all like the same as they always have been, which is just so interesting.
Jordan tells Hannah that his uncle's estate, like they've got it for the wedding in the Hamptons. And then we find out that he's also going to have his mom's lawyer come and help because he understands how badly the police department has treated her in the past and wants to make sure that doesn't happen. Hannah's ready to get out of there though. And she's like, no, maybe we should just go. And Jordan says, you can't run from this. And he says, look, just because you had a bad day doesn't mean it has to end that way. And then he unveils that he's brought all of her favorite foods from New York to her here.
He is really sweet. And the other thing I'll say about Hannah, as long as there's not another shoe that's going to drop at the sky, like she does pick great guys, you know, like she does. She does have, you can tell she values herself because she ends up in these relationships with guys that seem really to love her and care about her.
Yeah.
So Aria is visiting Ezra on her way to the airport. She needs to clear
it's like
the air before
that much
she
of a
leaves.
fucking rush. It's nighttime. You literally. It was morning when you left.
Yeah.
The girls and you were like, I'm in a rush. I gotta go.
I wonder what she did in between this and that. So she is basically like, look, Ezra, we did not see each other the other night. We need to pretend it never happened, like whatever. And he says, whatever you say, Aria. And it seems like, and my first thought is, y'all did it. Y'all did it. Aria cheated on Liam. She doesn't want anyone to know. And in that way, I'm like, girl, what else is new? You are a cheater. You are a habitual cheater. You're a cheater by nature. It's in your blood. It's literally in your blood, Aria. Okay. So if you just told the girls, all of her boyfriends, remember Jake?
Who did she cheat on Jake with?
Ezra? She was like fully hooking up with Ezra while she was with Jake. And she was like, I have to choose. And Ezra's like, you have to choose. And then she'd like go to break up with Jake, but she'd like kiss Jake. You don't fucking remember this?
Yeah, I do remember it. But I guess in my head, I was always like, Jake wasn't really... Yes, that was an extenuating circumstance.
Like, yeah.
But with Jake, I think that I always got the sense it was more of a, like, they didn't really have a label on things. Like, he could have also been dating other girls.
I don't think that he was. And I think that he made that very clear. He was like, I really like you, Aria. I want to be with you. What's going on with your teacher? Because Ezra would like show up and Jake was like, this is like weird. And Aria's like, don't worry about it. It's nothing. And then she'd go to Ezra and be like, I need normal. Okay. I just need normal. I don't need crazy anymore. And then she'd be like, but I can't freaking quit you. And then she'd like make out with Ezra. And then she'd go back and be like, sorry if I smell like parchment. I was just with my English teacher.
Parchment, ink, and quills.
Parchment and fresh ink and freshly plucked quills. I just was with my English teacher.
And please don't look at my fingers. They are red from the typewriter. They're like little divots from the circle, like the circle keys.
Aria, I'm looking at your hands and it looks like you've been typing your own name over and over and over again. The only letters that are showing up on your hands are A, R,
it's just
I, and A.
It's just the A, R, and I are literally the most popular letters in the English language. So I just kept going back to them.
And they just, you'd be shocked what beautiful stories you can write with just those letters, okay? Anyway, yeah, she's a cheater. She's a cheater. Yes. Remember that guy? Well, maybe she was single, but that random guy, like, Aria's a cheater. You know who's not a cheater is Hannah Marin. But everyone else, low-key, is a cheater.
Emily?
I think she cheated on everyone with Allie if she could. Like, I think if Allie was an option,
way to slut shame.
No, I think it's true.
I mean, I think if Allie made herself available, Emily was a cheater.
No, but like, I don't know about Emily, but
Allie was dead most of that time.
Well, no, she wasn't.
Okay, well, she was dead to them.
Not Emily.
I think Emily was like, surely I'm crazy. I'm not telling anybody that I thought that I just fully kissed Allie.
Maybe Emily believed that, but I'm sorry, she cheated. Like, I'm just gonna call it spade a spade.
Who was she dating at that point?
Probably Samara or Paige or Maya. Probably Maya.
She did not cheat on Maya.
Maya went to True North and Emily forgot all about her.
Maya broke up with her.
Did she?
Yes, on the phone. And remember when Emily gets so wasted like calls Maya a trillion times?
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway. Okay, maybe Emily's not, but Spencer and Aria, birds of a feather. Like, they both are cheaters. Stop telling me Aria. Stop defending Aria.
I'm not.
Okay, obsessed with Aria. Okay, an Aria apologist. Wow. Season 6, halfway through season 6, and you decide to pull back the curtain and show yourself? Jesus, you guys.
Anyway. So then we go to the doctor, and Emily is doing my favorite activity.
What is going on with Emily? What is going on with Emily? What is going on with her? Well, I'm sorry. I don't like what all signs are pointing to. What? She's in there. She's getting blood drawn, and they're like, "You'll get used to needles." Why?
In injections.
What? What is happening to her?
Caroline, guys, I wish you guys could have seen Caroline completely froze. That was like out of a meme. She goes, what?
I mean, but for real, what is happening? Can you just tell me?
No, because you're not going to believe it. And that's going to be worth it.
Is she like donating blood?
No, Caroline.
Is she having a money issue? She's giving money issues.
It's not a storyline as minuscule. But how do you know that the medical procedures aren't causing the money issues?
Well, I don't. Okay, fine. My first thought, she has fucking cancer. Can you tell me if she has cancer or no?
No, I can't tell you.
Oh my God. Okay, but you could tell me that Mona was alive? Oh, wait, you didn't. Okay, but you could tell me that other stuff? You've said stuff. You told me shower's bad. You did.
Yeah,
you
but
that?
like these are things that are a little more non-consequential. This this will rattle the story.
Well, okay.
Don't go and Google it. I swear to God, I'll be so mad.
I'm not gonna Google it. By the way, I know I said last week I thought that was the last A. I don't know what I was on when I said that. Believe me, I know about the next A. Believe me, I know about the next A, okay? And I don't know how I totally forgot about the incoming insane next bits of this plot twist. In my mind, it couldn't get great. Oh, it did. I totally forgot for a second
and you
about...
still have like 28 episodes.
Yeah, and so I just want to let you all know, I don't know why I said that I thought that was the last A, because I have known about the last A for quite some time now. So that was, I don't know what that was. I was acting.
Guys, we're so lucky that they did have to go so fucking crazy with this storyline, because even though Caroline knows it,
I could never predict how we get there.
She doesn't know how we get there, and she also doesn't know all the spokes that come off of this storyline.
No. There are two spoilers that I know that I'm like, but I don't know how we get there. But I do know like two people spoilers. So Phoebe's mad. Phoebe's pissed at one of you. She didn't know I knew two people. She only thought I knew one, and now I can see it. The fury in her eyes. She is like, I'm coming for whoever ruined the other one.
Anyway, so we find out that Emily's lying to this nurse. She's like, I'm not done with school yet. I live in San Diego, but I go to school in Malibu. Pretty cool. And yeah, and I'm just gonna be flying back and forth to do this because I'm made of money.
Yeah, and she's like, well, travel puts a lot of stress on your body, so you really need to stay put. You have another appointment tomorrow, and like that's why I do think, because then we go outside in a second. And Emily like can't pay for parking. Like her card is getting denied to pay for parking for this. So I'm like, okay, we're having money issues. And then later we find out that Wayne left her a bunch of money. And I was like, God fucking damn it. Did she spend all the money on whatever this? Because I was like, how is she even keeping this from her mother? She's definitely still on her mom's insurance. If she has cancer, I don't know how she's keeping this from Pam. Like, I just don't know how. So then I'm like, but that makes sense. If Wayne left her a bunch of money, then she's using that money and not telling Pam she's using it to pay for the cancer, but she's probably used all of it. So now she doesn't know how she's going to go back to school and finish school and pay for it, because that's what she could have used all that money for, but she's been using it for the cancer treatments. That's what I think is happening here. But like the fact that one, Emily would have cancer, and number two, that I wouldn't have found that out online seems crazy to me.
Well, think about the fact you haven't heard anything about it. So it's like, it's not that crazy. Because what it is important. And like,
well, I would think so, yes.
Hey everyone, this is Phoebe editing. Caroline's audio is about to sound really bad, and we are working night and day tirelessly trying to figure out what's going on, because I know her audio didn't sound all that great Tuesday, and it hasn't sounded all that great for this episode so far. Just letting you know, it's about to get worse for like, I think it's like 10 minutes maybe, and then hopefully it sounds better after those 10 minutes, and then hopefully we'll get it fixed. But I wanted to apologize and make sure that y'all know that we know that it sounds bad. All right, thank you, love you all, bye.
So we're now in the barn, and we're reading Cece's death report. We're confirming that Sarah Harvey's not on the suspect list anymore. And Allie is like, all right, well,
she's like,
I think Aria fucking did it. And she left. She was angry. And I even saw her dad, and he basically said, I bet she did it.
She literally goes, she's like, all right, okay, so no one's going to say it? I'll say it. Okay, I think Aria did it.
Okay. I'll address the elephant in the room.
Or lack thereof.
I think our little short friend did it. Yeah. Interesting. There's only one person who's not here. There's only one person who's not being fucking helpful, and who by the way made it very clear she never wanted to help. She never wanted to help.
Why'd she even come, by the way? Why'd she even come, by the way, if not to murder her?
Exactly. And just to drive that point home, Aria is then at work in Boston, and we see her flat out ignoring a call from Allison, which is when we meet Liam, but we don't immediately know that it's Liam because he says, "Hi, Miss Montgomery," and she says, "Hi, Mr. Green," because there are like people around, and then everyone's going to a meeting, so everybody disperses, and it is like, okay, let me rip my clothes off and let me do you right here on top of the papers, just like I used to do at Rosewood High. I mean, that's the energy. Aria grabs him and is like, "Ah, I missed you. I missed you, Lily."
Ew, I hate that.
My little lima bean, because if you rearrange the words in Liam, it says lima.
Sick in the head.
Oh my
and
God.
He seems simply far too nice to be with her. Far too nice, far too normal.
And he seems, yes, and it seems like that's how I know this is new, because he hasn't figured out that she's got some little bugaboos. He hasn't figured out that she's going to have some war flashbacks from time to time that are going to render her useless. And she's going to be lost somewhere, and you're going to wonder where she is. And she'll tell you, "I had an idea for a short story." That's not what's happening, I will tell you. And then number two, he hasn't yet figured out how insufferable she is.
But he will.
She has just missed work. She's missed normalcy. We learn that they're hiding their relationship, which is why I said earlier she's obsessed with that relationship trope. And I know he doesn't know about Ezra because he goes, "Oh, did you see or talk to Ezra Fitz?" And the way he says it is like as if that's a run-of-the-mill name, Ezra Fitz, so that she would know exactly who he was discussing because he writes books for the publishing company she works at.
Where he's
but Liam doesn't know that she knows him that way, which
in
is
a way where
crazy.
he's like trying to remember his name. He's like,
yes,
or like, yeah,
like he's such a nothing in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, like he just does not matter except for what he does
just
here.
Like a project for them.
Yeah.
But then we go back to she tells Liam that they did run into each other and that he's thinking about giving his advance back. Then we go to Rosewood.
So this is when we see, Emily getting denied for parking. And then Sabrina, the pot-dealing barista. Oh, her name's Sabrina? I always think it's Sabrina.
And I do just want to say about this show really threw a wrench in my understanding of the layout of this town. I understand. Because here's the thing. I know this is like a parking meter thing, but it's also the ATM that like Mike tried to get money. Like I was confused about where we were for a second. So I thought we were in.
I thought she was at the ATM.
Which is why I was
first.
Like, wait.
Yeah.
Did Sabrina just take money out for you? Like I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
But I'm also like.
That's what I thought was happening too. I was like, oh my God, I
understand now that, especially imagine you were like trying to take out like tons of money and she finished the. I mean, I know that's not possible, but like. She like finishes the transaction
and
for
you're
you.
Like, okay. She's like, how much do you need? And you're like, $1,100.
Just kind of chump change.
She's like, sure. Oh, of course. Right. Why would I say no?
And but I just am a little confused. I understand now that we're closer to Hollis, which is farther away, but it looks like we're in Rosewood Times Square. And then also later when she and Ezra and when Aria and Ezra leave the Radley, and then Ezra puts her in a taxi to go back to the. I'm like, a taxi? Like that just. Feels like I just figured the Radley was like around the corner from the brew, basically. You know what I mean?
Oh, I did not. I thought Radley was like kind of in a different zone, which is why I was kind of confused that this was like their new spot they were spending all this time in, because I feel like it's a little bit removed from, like, I feel like it's on like the outskirts of Rosewood kind of thing. I guess
we're just under the impression that pretty much everything is so walkable that I was like,
but that is the thing. It is essentially walkable from Rosewood Times Square to New York City. Exactly. We must remember. So like, nothing makes sense. Speaking of New York City, where Jordan and Hannah live, they're walking around Rosewood Times Square, and basically there's no good food here. There's no good Asian cuisine here to bring to Allie's house tonight.
I just want to say something to Ezra as well. Don't knock on suburban PA, because let me tell you,
there is some great suburban PA.
The Thai food and the sushi that Jordan so desperately wants to bring to Allie's. Mount Lebanon.
We've got Rex.
Mount Lebanon has it covered. It sounds like Rosewood maybe struggles with that. I had someone text me the other day saying that they were thinking of moving to Pittsburgh, and the full body chills that I got when I got to be.
Is it someone that like I would be happy to be here, or I'd be like, you
don't know them?
Okay, so the second one.
But anyway,
or maybe they're a new friend.
I was like, wow, what a gift to get to just like talk to someone who's actually interested in hearing me talk about Pittsburgh for as long as I want to, essentially, because they're equally as enamored by the city as I am. So
there
anyway,
you go. It's becoming a hot city.
It is. I love it. So Hannah is like, can we just get out of here? She's giving in this episode Mimi Perry the week before her trip to New York. She's in New York right now, and she literally is just like, the way she talks about the city is like she's a Delaney character. Like her heart like yearns for the city, and the way she talks about it is, and she's self-aware enough that she'll be like, I just need to get back to my city. And she's like, I just need a reset. I just need a total reset. I just need to go back to New York, reset, and then when I come back here, and I'm like, Mimi, you don't live there. What do you mean? Like,
you don't live there? That's not the reset. I know this is the you are in the reset.
I know you want to live there, but you don't right now.
By the way, I've never in my life felt relaxed in New York City.
Neither is Mimi.
So
Neither
I don't know
Mimi.
In what world are we resetting
Mimi texted
there?
us when she landed, and she was like, waiting for my $60 Uber. And I said, that city is fighting to be your favorite. That city is like you were having to like fight tooth and nail to rationalize why that is your favorite city, which I guess everybody in New York has to do. Everybody who lives there is like, there's no...
Well, no, they just say New York or nowhere.
And it's like, and hey, if I have to pay $75 to go 3 blocks, I have to.
Yeah. See, the stress that I was constantly feeling coursing through my body anytime I had to go anywhere in New York City. And it's just about like getting there. It's literally about nothing except for, goddamn, it's going to take 500 hours or $500. And like, you choose. You choose. Okay, so they're deciding they're not just bringing food because Hannah is nervous about going there tonight, and she's nervous about being with Allison and introducing Jordan and Caleb, so they're going to get some wine for tonight.
And then we go back to the barn, and
Spencer and Caleb are
and she's like,
together.
We're suspects because it looks premeditated. And I'm like, that's also not the only reason you're suspects.
This is crazy. Spencer's like, okay, fine. I wrote this paper once about a kind of unique
Spencer
murder.
has never like let herself, even though everybody in the world's probably forgiven her for the Golden Orchid essay, the plagiarism, she's never fully forgiven herself for doing that. So she looks for any opportunity in any instance to bring up an essay that she's particularly proud of to kind of win back literary honor. And she's like,
because also ever since that happened with Melissa, she's like, I need to prove to everybody that I'm a really good writer. Like, and no one's been interested in reading my essays ever since then, because they're like, well, you probably fucking copied it. You've never had an original thought.
And Aria takes full advantage of that.
I've been waiting for the moment for somebody to just read over she can't give it to Aria, because Aria will be like, and did you want me to edit?
And also Aria's probably like, they're reading their essays in class, and the teacher's like, I really liked this one idea that you had, and Aria's like she's talking to her other like not the core 4, like other friends that she has in other classes, and she's like, yeah. And then the teacher like complimented this part, and it's like, well, I didn't want to say anything while we were there, but we were talking about the book, and I said that at lunch.
Like basically
I said that idea at lunch, and I don't want to say this either, like you didn't hear from me, but Spencer literally got out her notebook and wrote it down.
And like wrote it down, and then she asked me, oh my God, I shouldn't even say this out loud. I shouldn't even say this out loud, but I know I can trust you guys. You guys are my girls.
It's like the girl she sits next to in math class.
Spencer asked me how to write a thesis statement. I know. Oh my God. No, I know. I was like, you're serious? You mean like the how and the why? And Spencer was like, yeah, that one. And I was like, sure, Spencer, I'll help you. Like, I couldn't believe my ears. So I'm just saying, like, I know she presents as really smart, but like,
just be wary.
Like, I know that, like, you know, it's the name does
just
a lot
watch your back.
for her, is what I'm saying. The name and the starched shirts, it really does a lot. I know she's not wearing fork earrings, but like, don't let my fork earrings. I'm not just like I'm not a brainiac.
Like,
I'm not just a pretty face and an artsy girl. Yeah, there's like a lot.
So Spencer's like, I wrote this paper about a really unique murder, and this is when we learn that it's human instinct to go head first when you jump.
And she basically did a report on a death that was the exact way that Cece died. Like,
guys, earlier in the episode, Spencer is, when she's reading the report, she goes, she had a broken neck and her fingernails were scrubbed clean about Cece.
She calls out all the specific details.
Caleb reads her essay and I think he's the one, he like says that line out loud and it's like, oh my God, they are identical.
Yes. So this one, it's like it was like her wedding night or something. And like she jumped from like a bell tower.
Bouquet,
like,
too.
and she had a bouquet of flowers in her hand and her neck was broken before she fell. And her fingernails were scrubbed. And it's like the exact same as Cece. They put a rose in her hand to make it look like a suicide. But I'm also like, it would fall out, I feel like. So that would have already tipped me off. Like seeing the rose put there, I'd be like, somebody put this here because there's just no way. I feel like it would still be like perfect like that. So anyway, she thinks she's being set up because she's like, if somebody found out about this paper and I'm Hastings, so it's highly likely I'll be nominated for something. And if anyone finds out about this paper, I'm toast. I'm freaking toast. I'm being set up.
Yeah. And she thinks that even maybe like someone, we're not using the word A yet, but like someone that is maybe like A found
trying
this
to do
essay
this,
and killed Cece exactly like that, so they might find that paper. And Caleb says that that's just a coincidence, and Spencer doesn't think the police will see it that way. We also find out 2 things about Spencer. One, she's in therapy, and now she's drinking tea, not coffee.
Okay. Interesting. These little details we're collecting. They all mean something here. So Aria is now being questioned by her boss with Liam, and she was like, okay, fine. Like, yes, Ezra is thinking about giving the advance back. He's just really not in a good place right now. And her boss goes, no writer is ever in a good place. And I'm like, okay, work, diva. And
Aria gets defensive. Aria's like, wait.
No, I mean, me being like, Aria,
I'm in a really good
Aria's
place.
Like,
I'm in a really good place.
Aria's like, I know. I thought that I used to think that too. I used to be like you. Okay. I used to be jaded and like you. And then I met Lily and he pulled the wool back from my eyes. And I said, this is what living is. And I got out of my tortured poet mentality and it's beautiful here. That's what she says. And the boss is like, no, I think Ezra just doesn't take you seriously because you were a student.
You see this thing, the way that, and again, like, I don't know if Lucy Hale was acting her like this on purpose, but there is a glint in Aria's eye where she looks like she's ready to throttle Jillian when she says, I just don't think he takes you seriously.
Okay. I would say sex, losing your virginity is pretty serious. And okay, now we've said it. Yeah.
And,
so I'd say
and Liam
pretty seriously.
Liam goes, wait.
Okay. Now I know why you always listen to Writer in the Dark by Lord when you're in the shower. Okay.
Weird.
On a loop.
45 minutes. Huh. And then Jillian gives the job to Liam and he's like, wait a minute. Stop. But he doesn't fight very hard to get this back to her. He's like, wait, I don't wait. It's like, Aria, my hands are, he's just tying my hands together, but no, stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop.
And Aria's like, no. I'm telling you, I can get through to him better than anybody else.
She's trying to say that they've fucked before without actually saying
She's like, I don't want to give you another reason to think that he's not taking me seriously. But yeah, I have an in here, maybe. So we're back in Rosewood. Emily's going to the brew to talk to Sabrina, who is now managing the place, which I love.
By the way, everybody, Sabrina this episode is and I'm like, did they have this girl come in and do her own makeup?
I was gonna say the blue eyeshadow
on, but it's not in a way where it's very on brand for the vibe of the character.
I feel like
but
it's not
it's not on brand for a free-form show that has these like makeup looks.
Well, it's
literally
not like crazy.
It just looks like you took like the brush and just like put blue.
Put it just was like, on your lids, like not
she's
like it's not smoked. There's no liner, like it's just like the shadow.
She's getting ready in the morning and she's like, oh, just my everyday look.
She's like enough, and it's just enough
and perfect.
It is just the right amount of color.
It brings out the blue in my aura.
I feel like I've seen this from her before, but yeah, you're right. She's such an aura girl, and
she has one of those Aura cameras, and every time one of her friends comes over to her apartment, she like takes a picture of them, and she has a wall
before they walk in.
All the Polaroids.
Yes, and before they walk in, she does it. And if their aura is like not really gonna work, she doesn't let them inside. It's like that's you have to pay entry. So anywho, Emily's like, I need you to like not tell anyone that you saw me outside of the medical center. My mom and my friends don't know what's going on. And Sabrina's like, well, I had cancer a few years ago and I learned the hard way that you need support. And Emily's like, yeah, well, not me. Okay. And that's the classic Emily.
You clearly don't know a thing.
You don't know a thing about me.
Sabrina. She calls her Serena. Serena.
And by the way,
you know a thing about
I hate your makeup. I hate your look. Okay. By the way, I hate your
and
look.
you know what? I actually came in here for to give you $5 back for parking because you look like you need it.
Yeah.
But But then I walked in here and remembered, oh wait, I also think she looks like she has a big fucking mouth.
Your whole vibe is like town gossip. Has anyone ever said that to you before? Yeah.
Sabrina weeps. She breaks out into a loud sob.
Like, I thought you were the nice one. Like, I've met your other friends and they're awful. I thought you were the nice one.
She's like, I am.
Sabrina's
the
like,
nice
I
one.
gave Spencer edible gummies and she got me arrested. She gave them to her police officer boyfriend while he was on the job, didn't tell him, and then got me arrested for 5 years. This is my first start. She's like, I'm managing this place to get myself back on my fucking feet. Like, I hate your friends. I thought you were the nice one. My God, I will never do a favor for one of you again. Holy shit.
And anyway, she's like, the last thing I need to do is give my mom something to worry about. Yes. Because actually Emily doesn't say any of that mean stuff that we just said.
No. Emily,
it's actually a pretty like fine reaction.
It's kind of like reading between the lines, which is what we're really good at. So we go to Allie's house for dinner, and it's clear that Spencer's already met Jordan. She like gives him a hug and says it's so good to see him. And then Jordan and Caleb get introduced. What?
Oh, two things. One, Allie did a full gut job on this house. It is completely different except for Tortured Poet's room, which is the same. And also she's still sleeping in her childhood bedroom. She is not taking over a master.
No.
And
no.
But I like this thing that happens to really build the rapport that Jordan has with the friends of when he walks in with the food, he looks at Emily and like does a little dance and Emily like intercepts him and they have like a cute little moment.
Wait, I didn't see that. Sweet. That is cute. I mean, it's such a testament to Hannah that like the men that she is with like her friends and vice versa, and that like it's the type of thing that like,
and it's also just
he's
clear
sweet.
that like, and I was gonna say Emily too, but Emily is obviously living a double life right now. But like Hannah, it's a testament to Hannah continuing to pour into these friendships in a way that doesn't seem Aria and Spencer are super interested in doing in a way that's above surface level.
Correct. So Allie is like so glad that everyone can make it, and of course has to acknowledge that Aria could not, except Aria. And every time she talks about Aria, she goes into like her little guttural voice I love. And so then Spencer goes to like make room on the table for all the food that Hannah and Jordan brought, and she goes to move these flowers. Now he's like, "What are you doing? Stop! Stop it, Spencer!" Like, Spencer,
that is our sisters.
I got those for our sis. Our sissy. Our sissy. Got this for a sissy. And Spencer's like, okay.
Spencer drops them and bursts into tears. And she's like, that is the first time you've ever said that this is like our family.
Thank you for acknowledging that this is my family too.
She's like, and I'm really sorry. I've actually, I've been grieving, but I've been trying to find a way to say this because I was really moved by what you said in the courtroom. And it's like, okay, you can't have your shot at a real family with Cece anymore, and I'm sorry about that. And I know that you probably but like maybe we could have a real shot at it.
You are my sis. At the end of the day, you are my sis. And I am not gonna lose you. I'm not gonna lose you, Allie. I'm not gonna lose you. Anyway,
Hannah goes, how's Melissa? Spencer's like, who?
Who the fuck is Melissa? You mean my dad's love child? You mean my dad's love child? Don't fucking talk about her. My God, don't fucking talk about her. Anyway, so anyway, Aria is talking to Liam. She's like, listen, Fitz takes me seriously. I can't explain exactly how seriously, but yeah. And so she's like, and he's not the same person he was, and I'm gonna go, whatever. We find out Emily is sticking around Rosewood for a while. We're back at Allie's. Hannah's asking about her job, and Emily's like being like, what? We research cures. And
she lists,
like, for what?
She
like,
lists,
like what? What do you think, Hannah?
She lists every communicable and non-communicable disease that she can, and
cancer, diabetes, infectious diseases, like
the
everything.
Flu, COVID-19. You'll hear about that one in a couple years.
The cure, I'm looking. Okay? if the cure hasn't been found, I'm on it.
And in that case, you know what? I'm going to start saying that I cure diseases. If that's all I have to say is if I'm looking.
Okay, and you can't prove that I'm not unless you're my Google agent who's assigning my phone, and then maybe you can. Because you're not searching cures, you're searching how to train for Big Brother Wolf-Ops at 3 a.m.
Look, if I find it, I find it. You know, but my eyes are peeled.
I'm not looking for it. I'm not ignoring it if I see it. If I think of something and I'm like, this could be a cure, I'm not ignoring that. I'm following my hunch. But like, I don't have a hunch all the time. Of course, no one does. Sometimes we sleep. Anyway,
and Hannah's like, well, you save them, I dress them.
Jinx, you owe me a poppy vending machine. Which, by the way, no, I didn't get one.
Wait, is now a good time to tell you?
Shut the hell up! You didn't get one.
One got shipped to my apartment.
Guys, you're gonna see a lot more content on TikTok from me and maybe Phoebe, but mostly me. That's like not related to what we're doing here. I'm trying to make a video a day. I don't hear about it. Some of them are not going to be hits. Some of them are going to be maybe like, Caroline, what the hell is this? Just like it, okay? Please, God, just like it, because I'm trying something here. God.
Wait, it's like wait, you should do one to that sound that it's like, why does everybody hate like a girl just putting herself out there trying to be creative?
Yeah, like that's all I'm doing here.
Wait, what is that? Who put herself out there creatively? Is that from Girls? Is that a Marnie
Probably.
quote?
Most likely, yes.
Hormone harmony. Road warriors, let's get real. Managing PMS can be difficult. When I get on to record the podcast with Caroline, it can be tough sometimes to lock into a cheerful mood. But good news, with the help of Hormone Harmony, I am able to manage my PMS and so much more. It helps me balance my moods and even improves my sleep quality. Hormone Harmony is dedicated to making women's lives better. One of the ways they achieve this is through science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens. These help your body adapt to stressors. Hormone Harmony is third-party tested, non-GMO, and gluten and dairy-free. It's no wonder to me a new bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. If you can even believe it, for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code PrettyLittlePodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code PrettyLittlePodcast for 15% off today.
Okay. Jordan then makes it clear right away as he and Spencer are like setting the table that he does not know Caleb and Spencer are together.
Pause. We didn't talk about this. At first, Caleb and Jordan are putting this table together. They're putting like the leaf in the table.
Oh, yeah.
And Caleb's like, we're actually doing it backwards. It goes in this way. You have to like kind of jam it in there. I have one just like it actually. And Jordan goes, oh, the one with the scratch on it. That was like the first piece of furniture we put into our new apartment. Hannah really couldn't part with it. And there's something about
like, if you'll excuse me.
There's something about Caleb. Actually, Spencer excuses him, which I was like, don't like the dynamic.
Hey,
back
Spencer.
off.
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
Imagine Caroline's in this friend group, like is one of their friends, but
and
just
I'm
like for some reason,
this.
you just like for some reason have like a particular attachment to Caleb. You're like, you've always just been obsessed with them, kind of rooting for them.
I can't be with them. Only Hannah can.
And and you just like hate Spencer all of a sudden, like as you start picking up on things.
Spencer's like, Caroline, we're best friends. I'm like, not anymore. I obviously don't know you that well.
You go, are you crazy?
If you're capable of this, I obviously don't know you at all.
So
this episode is crazy, by the way, guys. Sorry.
And then I know we started the episode being like snooze fast.
What's real? What's fake? I don't know. Half of this
me and Caroline have really
I want it to be. Okay.
We've really like put an addition on this house, but
yeah, we did.
Hannah and Emily are sitting on the couch, and Hannah's like, how do we have 4 fucking bottles of wine and not a wine opener?
Oh, Hannah needs to drink.
She's so stressed by Caleb and Jordan talking, and I'm like, Hannah, you brought the wine.
Yeah. Why didn't you bring a wine opener?
Why.
But also, why doesn't Allie have one?
Well, we learn in a second because Caleb runs into Hannah in the pantry, and we find out that Allie had this place.
Before this, we find out Spencer tells Jordan, because he's like, oh, do you and Caleb like see each other a lot? And Spencer's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's like,
she says it.
Cool.
She's so fucking annoying.
She's like, well,
she goes,
we were traveling and we met up in Madrid.
But when she says that she sees him a fair amount, she's like, well, I mean, I don't see really much of anybody other than my phone. But I mean, of all the people that I don't see, I don't see him the most. I mean, the least. It's like, Spencer, we get it.
Whatever, Spencer.
You
we
work
get
in
it.
the machine.
You're both.
You work in the machine of the political
DC
machine.
We get it. So Caleb and Hannah run into each other in the pantry because Allie de-boozified this place when she thought Cece was coming home. So she's looking for a wine opener. He's looking for glasses, and they're going to help each other. And Caleb kind of acknowledges the elephant in the room and says, Jordan seems nice and congrats on the engagement. And then he says, you kept the table. And she's like, of course I did. And it's just a sweet little moment. And then she feels like she needs to explain to him that when Caleb went to Europe, Hannah was not looking for another relationship. And so I guess it seems like maybe she broke up with Caleb when he went to Europe.
It seems like maybe they were like, we'll take time apart.
Yes.
Like maybe it was a mutual decision that was like, I need to go do this.
Because I think she
don't
says
expect
like
you to move, like up and move. And it sounds like maybe they weren't on, they were definitely broken up, but maybe they weren't.
Well, I think
neither of them maybe thought it was forever, and then Caleb was surprised that she moved on.
It sounds like she said, I need to go find myself. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And then he came back and she was like in a relation. Like, I feel like that's like what happened here. And it was like, well, you were gone for, you know, however many years we haven't seen each other. And like, I wasn't looking for it, but that's often when it happens. And then he tells her he's just happy that she's happy. And she looks and she's like, well, like we got what we need. And it's like a metaphor for we got the closure we needed here. But hey, Hannah, you did not get what you need. Let me be clear. You did not get what I believe you need. Okay. Anyway.
What I believe you need.
Lo gives Allie a call with an update. We got the time of death for Cece. She was killed around 4 a.m. He says it's good news that we have this. We're one step closer to finding the killer. And then Allie's like, you know what? Let's say grace. And Hannah's immediately stressed because she's sitting at the opposite end of the table of Allie at the head, and she has to hold hands with Caleb and Jordan. And she's like, but she does it. It's fine. Jordan and Caleb, by the way, have to give them props. Not weird at all. They are not making this weird
Jordan,
one bit.
When they say grace, Jordan goes, Hannah.
Yeah, he's like not fazed by the fact that like she's going to have to hold hands with Caleb as well. Like it's just like seems very healthy, seems totally fine. And Allie is saying a prayer again. Always weird to hear Allie like saying grace and things like this.
Especially just like the way she suggested it. I was just like, that is also so not Allie.
What's so funny is that we then realize, or I feel like I realized that the reason she wanted to say grace was actually so she could let all these girls know.
For the most Allie reason to ever say
grace. I want to let you all know exactly what I think's going on here. And I think Aria did it. And I think you're all covering for her is basically what her saying grace was
Hannah.
like disguised as. Yes. And she like stares at Hannah when she gets into her like gravelly little voice. And she goes, and I hope that the police find whoever did this. Him or her.
Because she says, I hope they find whoever did this. And anybody who might be protecting him.
Yeah, like
or her.
Well, the her.
She says it like Morrible. This wicked.
This
witch.
Wish I said. Yeah, so then Hannah and Spencer go in the pantry and we're like, okay, so that was about Aria. Okay, so since when are we saying grace and we're actually using it to read our friends for filth? Okay, whatever. And Hannah's like, look, okay, fine. I hadn't told any of you this yet. I know Aria left in the middle of the night. She was really fucking weird about it when I asked her because Spencer's like, well, just ask her. And Hannah's like, okay, I obviously did that. But she was fucking weird about it. And Spencer's like, well, let's just look at the footage from the Radley because your mom's the manager so we can see the security footage. And Hannah's like, yeah, I'm over that. I don't do stuff like that anymore. But they're going to because it's the only way to rule Aria out. And I'm like, how quickly Spencer's like, well, I do.
Hannah's
like, I don't do this. Spencer's like, I don't have any problem with it at all. No.
Hannah's like, I don't do that anymore. And the girls are like, well, yeah, you do because we're asking you to.
Yeah, and actually,
yeah, you do because we told you to.
You took a little break for sure. You totally took a little break. And now you're back to it. So, Hannah.
We go to the brew and okay, Emily just went to the brew to tell Sabrina, my mom comes in here all the time. Don't be weird around her. Imagine how on edge Emily is now that like, Pam is here with her.
Why didn't they just go to the Radley?
Yeah. And also, what?
The
day
new
and time is it?
I mean, and that is
Because
the question
also,
on everyone's minds.
And who's paying for Aria's flights?
Yeah, will probably work.
I guess, but they don't even want her here.
Yeah, well. She's like, fine, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it to prove to you all that I know him better
How
than anyone.
seriously he takes me.
Yeah,
And also,
exactly.
I am bringing a film crew. Just in case, like,
I take
something
myself.
happens.
Yeah, just in case something happens. So Emily's phone dings and she gets a reminder about her appointment at Hollis Medical Center.
Emily, screen
tomorrow.
down.
Emily,
Screen
do not
down,
disturb,
bitch.
babe. Like, what are we doing here? And she tells her mom it's an interview for grad school, which Pam did not know she was applying to.
Or it's like, hey, tell your mom it's a checkup.
Yeah.
Tell your mom. That's a little more believable.
I
and
don't want
less
to
of a
bother
lie.
you with it.
Like,
with me,
or like maybe
asking
it's
you to make my
maybe
appointments. I just made an appointment because I'm home.
And maybe it's like a thing of responsibility, being like, I came home, I like this doctor, I'm just going to, you know. And Pam would be like,
maybe she's getting
love you,
work
girl.
done, Pam. Maybe she's fucking getting filler and she doesn't want you to know. Emily's just getting some filler. She's getting injections.
But you know who else is here
she's
that doesn't want
addicted
anybody
to
to know
plastic
it?
surgery. Okay, that's actually what's going on with Emily. Is she's going under the knife willingly. She's like, I'm getting my boobs done. I'm getting a BBL. What? They have to make sure I'm healthy first. I'm getting a BBL Botox, baby Botox, and filler in my lips and under my eyes. Just like while I'm under, they're just gonna do it all. It's okay.
And I'm getting lipo on my ankles, and that's going.
And I'm actually using that because I don't want anything artificial in me. Besides the filler,
except for the Botox.
Yeah, except for the Botox and filler.
And she's like, wait, but guys, just to bring her the Botox, I have migraine.
Yeah,
I have migraine.
I suffer from migraine. And the filler is more so just like something that my modeling agent recommend. Okay, the cat's out of the bag. I'm a model. I'm a top model. And this is what my agent said to do. And they just said it would be cheaper to do it here than
you know
in
what I wish? You know what I wish is that instead of working at that fucking tiki hut on the beach, Emily worked at Sir. I wish Emily worked at Sir.
Emily would be perfect for Sir. By the way, Kelly's watching Traders and she was like, wait, so can you explain like why everyone hates Tom so much? Because like I like know, but like I didn't care about any of these people when this happened. So like I've heard you talk about, but I don't really know. And she was like, what did he do? Like he just cheated on her? And I was like, oh, Kelly. And I had the privilege of walking her through from the beginning. Like I was like, Kelly, like they were together for like 11 years. Like, and she's like,
married,
what?
basically.
And that's what I said.
There's so many layers.
And he's never been likable. But the one thing that made him so likable was he seemed to be
Ariana.
this girlfriend guy. Like he was all about his woman. And like then we find out he she all these, and she just was enthralled by it. And I was like, you need to go listen to the podcast episode where my mom explains it.
And I don't mean to give too much credit to the dumbest man alive. Maybe I'll give credit to his team. And again, I don't want this for him necessarily, but I do think it's kind of smart. It was very smart for him to go on a show like this where the world is going to they probably know his name and they know that everybody hates him. But if they find out that it was just a cheating, quote unquote, just cheating, they're like, wait. I mean, he's an idiot, but he's kind of fun.
It's like, what's funny is like this is his
only
rebrand.
way to get the redemption arc.
The only way it wasn't Special Forces. No one wanted to see you like succeed. Nobody wanted to see you be strong or tough or anything like that. You have to now be the jester and not even the jester, the dunce. You're now the class dunce, and that is all you are, Tom. And if you have a good point, it is going to be an accident, okay? Mm-hmm. But like you are the dunce. That's what you are now in society, and that's fine. But if he can embrace that as his new personality, he might have another page to turn.
All this to say, I wish Emily worked at Sir.
Yep.
And so then we'll basically see Aria go up to Ezra's apartments.
Find out also that Wayne left Emily a lot of money because Pam's you can use all that money for grad school if you need it. We'll do scholarships. Like, it'll be fine. And Emily is freaking out. And that's when she sees Aria come in and go up to Z's apartment. And then Aria knocks on his door and she's like, I need to talk to you about the book.
By the way, I'm not trying to blame Pam at all for what we're going to learn about the money and everything.
Okay.
But I am going to say, if our mom knew that we had come into a ton of money that could potentially help pay for grad school, I think she'd have access to that account.
Yeah.
I think she'd be monitoring, especially at that age. If we were like just out of college, I don't know how much. Let's say he had $1 million life insurance policy.
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Well, I know. I'm wondering like how much money this is. Because the thing is, it's not going to be enough to cover grad school, it seems. So I don't know. But like it does seem like she wouldn't have just like given it to Em. Like it seems like it would probably be kept in some account and then she'd be like, if you need to access it, like this is how to do it and we'll talk about it. But like, I don't know. Emily also is like not an irresponsible girl. So it just doesn't seem like she's the type that like I don't think Pam was worried about it because it just doesn't seem like something Emily would really do.
And it's also like it's never irresponsibility that gets Emily.
Yes.
It's like taking on too much and then getting in over her head.
Yes, and not wanting to ask for help. Exactly. And like not wanting to like bring it to anyone else when they're going through something.
I think sometimes it can be a pride thing, but most of the time it's not pride and it's not shame. It's more just like, I don't want to bother you.
Right,
like, that's really where it all comes
She's
from.
like, you've got enough on your plate. Like, I'm just going to handle it because I believe I can. And then, you know.
Speaking of people who have a lot on their plate and isn't doing their dishes.
Oh, Ezra's living in squalor. Pizza boxes everywhere. Aria walks in. He offers her a drink. He's drinking wine. She's not going to have any. She basically just lets him know, like, they're not going to take back the advance, so you're going to need to write a book. They really liked your first one. Like, you just need to figure it out.
She comes in, and she's like, okay, I remember when we used to fight like this. I'm just going to have to come in here. I'm just going to have to come in here and tell it like it is.
All right. She walks in. She's like, all right, I'll get to work. She rolls up her sleeves, starts, like, boxing up the pizza. She's like, just like old times. I know when you're in one of your moves. When you're in one of your moves.
And she's like, Z, can't you see? This is when you do your best work.
When I know that it's okay. When I walk in here and I smell you, okay, you smell like you when you haven't showered because you're in a creative funk, okay? But I know what you need. I know how to help you get there. And here I am. I'm going to sit right here and be your muse, Ezra, okay? You do not need to worry. I am here and I'm not going anywhere without this book. And he's like, well, they're going to hate it. Here's the flash drive. And she takes it.
She's like taking her top off. She's like fully like posing.
She's like, I thought, okay.
Here's the book.
Well, I'll read it first, and then we'll try our tricks after that. But then she's like, as she's about to leave, she's like, where did you go after we saw each other the other day? And he's like, what are you asking? And she says, you know what I'm asking you. And he says he went home, and it's clear that she doesn't believe him. So we know that she left to go see Z, and that like she left him at some point and we don't know what happened after that.
Right. So then we go back to the barn, and this is another thing.
This is where it's
sleeping on the couch.
And again. I was like, is this a respect thing? Like, but he was sleeping in bed with Hannah when he was at Hannah's and she was in high school. So I don't think that.
And it's not that I don't. Obviously, I fully would expect the Hastings to have already redone Spencer's room.
That is another point I was going to say.
I'm like, why wouldn't she stay
in the main house? Yeah. I also don't believe that the Hastings don't have a guest room in the house. And so it's like, if you were both going to stay in the barn together, then it seems like you would be together. And then if you're not, then why are we even staying in the same? Like, why wouldn't he just stay in here? Whatever. So he's sleeping on the couch, and we find out that them like meeting up in Madrid by chance was 3 years ago. And they went to a bullfight. And I'm sorry, I can't talk about this. Like, I can't stand them. I literally was watching this. I was like, what's funny? Like, why are we laughing? What's so funny?
I said,
I don't get it.
Caroline, like, is just now leaving Allie's house, helping her clean up. She looks in the barn, sees them laughing, walks in. Yeah,
so funny?
So what's so funny?
Yeah, I walk in. I'm like,
I didn't know we were having a nightcap at Spencer's.
You two, where's everyone else? Oh, they're not here. They're not here.
Caleb, what's that in your hand? A pillow?
A pillow. Are you or just borrowed? Does the hotel not have any? Does the hotel not have any pillow? Oh, you're sleeping in here. Oh, that's weird. Okay, but you're sleeping on here. So Spencer, you're sleeping in the main house, and then who's sleeping in the room in the barn? Hannah and Jordan? No. Oh, okay. Well, you guys seem to be having fun. I guess I'll just stay. I guess I'll just make myself comfortable.
There's an extra bed.
What are we talking about? A bullfight? You went to a bullfight? Why are you laughing? That doesn't sound that fun. That actually doesn't sound fun at all.
But I did say it would be kind of sweet if they weren't.
No,
whores.
Like I literally am like, okay, Caleb's not a whore. I don't know about Spencer. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing, like it's not cute, and I don't know how it would be cute. Because it's just like you guys are talking like there's no chemistry. I'll say it. There's no chemistry. They have no connection. It's not palpable.
Caroline fully trying to deny that they do have a little bit of chemistry.
There's no chemistry. It's forced. It feels forced. It literally feels like Spencer's like obsessing, drooling, and Caleb's like, I just am like sleeping here. Like I need a place to sleep. So anyway,
Vivi asked him to stay a while and help on the campaign,
which is weird. And then Hannah texts them, and it's like, oh yeah, say by the fucking like, okay. Hannah texted, and it's like, oh right, we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. So Hannah says like, I got the keys to the security room. Let's go. So then we don't find out if they're together or not, and we go.
And it's like that's actually such a perfect
footage.
picture. That's such a perfect picture of their friendship and their relationship with Hannah and everything. Because and who Hannah is to all of them. Because they're doing something that is going to wreck Hannah. But Hannah is somewhere doing something that she doesn't want to do. But yeah, she doesn't want to
do because it's gonna help her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are doing what exactly?
Caroline is
what exactly is this? I'm watching.
And again, Caroline is still in the barn having this conversation.
Help! I'm still at the barn. That's me right now. Help! I'm still at the barn. Am I singing the wrong tune? Like, do you not know that song?
No, the way Caroline just backed off the mic after she said it, like she just won a boxing match.
Well, she was looking at me like, and what was that? And I'm like, you know what that fucking was, or are you? I know what it was.
I know what it was. We go to the Radley, and Jordan. We found out Jordan thinks that Hannah's with Ashley. And we're looking at the footage. Emily's there already. And we see that Aria gets out of the elevator at 3:12 a.m. and meets Ezra in the lobby. And
stumbles
we
over to Z and is touching his chest.
I was like, Aria,
now my stomach
know
is
about
sick,
this?
and she's touching his chest, and it's all in my head. But she's touching his chest.
Caroline was so pissed that I didn't get up and give her a standing ovation for the first song that she did, that she was like, okay, fine, I'll pick one that maybe you know.
I guess you're a fake Swiftie, so I guess I'll pick a song that everyone fucking knows. Or am I mistaken about this one too? You are embarrassing. Just kidding. Okay, so anyway, confirmed Aria left the hotel with Ezra, but she does come back without him. She's back at 4:28 a.m. We know Cece was killed around 4 a.m. I'm just saying, bitch still could have done it.
Aria, are you stupid?
I'm ready to hang a sign. Bitch could have done it. And she's stumbling. You didn't change into sneakers, really, when you left the hotel. You had to put your stilettos back on for your drunken stroll through Rosewood Times Square through the grass looking for your 4 a.m. pizza. You had to put your fuck me heels back on.
Who did you originally say that about?
I think Lieutenant Butterscotch. Or was it someone else? It might have been Ashley with her Manolos, maybe. I think it was.
You would never have said that about her.
But the Manolos, because they were such a big topic that so I might have been like the fuck me heel. I might have called them that. But it also was maybe the only other person I know who wears fuck me heels is Lieutenant Butterscotch. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Anyway.
Okay.
So they go to confront Aria.
No, well, first Spencer's like, Aria did not do it. And Hannah's like, all right, Sparia?
Enough.
I'm talking to the Aria part of your brain, Spencer. I know. She fucking did it. I want to go talk to her. And Emily's like, let's just erase it. And that's where all their attachment styles are showing up. We have the avoidance. We have Spencer who's like, no, there's no way. I'm right. You're wrong. And Hannah who's like, well, why don't we just go fucking bring it up and confront her with the facts? Like they all like, that is all. Spencer's like, I don't need any more information. I already know everything. Hannah's like, let's just go get the facts and be confrontational about it. And Emily's like, let's just pretend we never freaking saw it. That's Emily.
If this were like a physical comedy, a slapstick comedy show, Emily would always be like, she'd always have like a little kerchief. She'd be profusely sweating, and like her eyes would always be super shifty.
Oh my God! Why? What am I gonna do? It's giving Molly from Annie. Oh my goodness!
Wait, Mimi, when she touched down in New York, posts a picture of her listening to "I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here" from the new Annie.
Okay, Mimi, my little star to be.
She loves Annie.
NYC.
Annie
this morning.
I've never met Annie. Well, maybe you, but you don't love Annie, do you? You actually hate Annie.
I don't hate it. I also don't love it. I just get sick of it.
Mimi loves it. She'll just watch it. She will.
I used to love it like that. I used to just watch it. like when I was little, like, but I loved Carol Burnett. I loved Miss Hannigan. Like, that's why I frequently discuss trying to recreate Miss Hannigan's room. Like,
I know
it's in my
if
head.
you went on Lost Culture, the culture that made you say culture was for you would probably be Sound of Music, but I do think that's also a good answer.
It isn't. That is
What
a good
would you
answer,
say?
but
it's the magazines and the grocery store.
My real answer, I think, Phoebe, is Kelly Clarkson on American Idol.
Oh my God, and that would send shivers down Matt's spine.
It's the right answer as well. Not only is it my answer, it's the right answer because that is it. I remember watching her season of American Idol. I can tell you the names of everyone who was on it. I'll never forget seeing Kelly Clarkson sobbing when this guy gets eliminated. And I was like, are they together? Like, what's going on here? Maybe that was Carrie Underwood. I don't remember. But American Idol was my cultural awakening. Because I was like, the day I turned 16, I'm going on American Idol.
Well, I remember I
would call to vote. Like, I remember
that. You had a poster, like when Daughtry was on and Carrie Underwood was on.
I had the top 12 CD, and like that was where I got all my music. Like, I wasn't listening to now that's what I call music. I was listening to like
the year
top 12 American Idol.
The year Adam Lambert won. He won, right?
I think so. I can never remember honestly who was second and who was first because usually the person who came in second had a better like career.
It was Adam Lambert and then I think like David Cook or something.
Maybe.
And I had such a big crush on him. He had like more of a raspier voice and I was like really into him. And I remember I was sitting on the floor and you and Dad were in the red chairs in the den when that was announced.
Oh my God.
And you guys wanted Adam Lambert to win because he was like
he was
the
obviously
better talent.
Yeah.
But I remember, I don't think I physically did, but in my heart, like the feeling that I feel when I think about that is like I fell to my knees. Like I
see,
was
that's
like,
actually so funny because like what's also true about that is they were like David Cook is more marketable because he's not like this like soprano man who's like wearing a full
like a modern
beat.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, like Adam Lambert was wearing a full beat, like,
which
and
is crazy when you think about it.
At the time, like I really think that they were like, this guy, we just can't sell him.
Talent
like,
transcends. Talent transcends.
And then I will never. When he had his album, and then look, he went on Pretty Little
and
Liars,
that song,
and that was
what was that song?
If I had you,
yeah, that song was
the only thing I'd ever need. He's so good.
Guys, we are so close to being done with this episode.
Sorry, guys.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, Hannah's like, Aria's not going to freaking say anything to us. And Spencer says, she doesn't have a choice this time.
Oh, so we go to the Montgomery Mausoleum, looks exactly the same, and we confront Aria. The three of them are confronting her. They say, we know you left for more than 5 minutes, and when you came back, sorry, Charlotte was dead. And then we get the flashback.
And this is where I'm like, oh my God, Ezra wanted to hook up so bad.
He thought he was going to get it this night.
She comes, and this is so 'tis the damn season. Like, it's so like that vibe.
We've all been
and
there.
of you guys, like you having like skirt around why you guys are talking to each other again.
Yes.
Because she comes down and she's like, you didn't have to come. And Ezra is like, well, you said you couldn't sleep.
What else was I gonna do? I couldn't I couldn't sleep knowing you were laying there awake, thinking, your mind racing. I couldn't let that happen.
This is another classic Aria moment because she is like, I feel guilty about the whole thing. And it's like the Aria only ever concedes to bad behavior when she's talking to someone she knows will justify it.
Yeah.
Because she's talking to Ezra and she's like, I just feel so bad. Knowing that Ezra is going to immediately say, no.
You did the right thing.
Honest.
Yes.
It was brave.
It's admirable.
You're honest and brave.
You're honest and brave and you're all that's good in this world.
And he's like, your friends wish they could have done that. And Aria's like, you are right. They literally told me that. They literally were like, you got up there and did what we couldn't do, and thank you.
And that's like, and she's like, and you know what? I guess that is sort of my whole thing in this town, is just doing what people think is impossible. So then she grabs his chest,
like getting out of here, getting out of here to the big city,
and she goes, let's get out of here. She goes, I want to go somewhere, anywhere but here. So then they're walking around Rosewood Times Square, and she's wasted. And she goes, I want pizza. Does anyone care? I want pizza. It's giving
She did
Rory
not
Gilmore.
She did not see. Yeah, she's giving Lorelai for sure. She didn't.
I think she's giving Rory.
She's giving Rory when she tries to be more like
Does anyone
Lorelai.
care that I want pizza? It's Rory.
But yes. But she wasn't acting drunk. Did they go and drink somewhere? It was still 3 a.m. when they.
Well, they had been drunk all night though. Like, so I think.
No,
I
know, but what I mean is when the conversation at the elevator, she didn't seem drunk.
I think she was though. I think we just didn't see it. But I think as she got more tired too, probably she seems drunker. They might have gone somewhere to drink, but like, I feel like she seems drunk. Like the way she's grabbing his chest, like she's being so touchy. Like
because they were gone.
I think
for
she's
like
a
an hour and
boyfriend. I don't
15
think
minutes.
she's gonna be so touchy with Ezra if she's sober. Because we've seen the way she's been acting towards him. You know what I mean? So I do think she was pretty drunk. And so basically they're in Rosewood Times Square. A white car pulls up. It's like 4 a.m. So this is weird. And Aria thinks Allison gets out, but it's Cece. And they're like, what the fuck? Should we call someone? Should we call the police? And Ezra's like, she's free now. Like, this is her town as much as it's ours. And he says, is mad.
Isn't that just perfect? Isn't that just perfect? Perfectly good people like Nicole go missing, and people like Cece get to walk free.
He is like so pissed off. And then there's like the taxi there for Aria. And he's like, why don't you get in? And he doesn't go with her. And she gets in the car and leaves. And so like, she's really not sure that he didn't do it, because the last time she saw him, he was like within 10 feet of Cece Drake, where she fucking died at the time that she died.
After he says, and Cece gets to walk free, he like pauses and Aria doesn't say anything for a second, and then she may as well. She begins the sentence, and I thought she was gonna say, Ezra, where'd you go just now? But she says, Aria, she says, Ezra, what's going on? But the way she leads into it is like he's so angry, and she's gonna be like, where'd you go just now? Hey, come back. Hey, come back to me.
Hey, eyes on
it's
me.
me.
Eyes on me.
Hey, it's me.
Where'd you go just now? Hey. Grabs his face. It's me. It's always been me. So anyway, she's like telling the girls everything that happened, and we come back to the present time, and she says, the thing is, I know that he can't look me in the eyes when he lies, and he didn't look at me when he said that he went home after that. Okay,
which is another classic. I know him, and I know when he lies.
And nobody can look into my piercing eyes and lie to me. They just can't. It's my superpower. I dismantle someone's ability to lie.
One of my favorite things that Craig has done and he's done a lot of wonderful things on the show, but when Austin is trying to say that he and Taylor didn't do anything, and Austin gets up to go get a beer, and Craig goes, he looked down and to the left, and he's like, oh.
Craig is so...
People do that when they lie. People do that when they lie. He says it. I love how he takes himself completely seriously in those moments.
So Aria's like, that's a huge leap. And Spencer's like, actually, it's not. I think I told Ezra how to do it. And she's like, okay, fine. When he was on his book tour, like we met up for coffee. We got lunch.
And of course, I had an extra copy of my award-winning essay. And I took it out.
Soon to be award-winning essay.
Aria's like, you guys met. No, it's fine. I think it's kind of weird.
Aria's like,
I think it's kind of weird that you guys were talking about writing. It's like
that's with Ezra and Spencer. Okay, Hannah. She's like, Hannah, you're not gonna say it. I will. What's going on with you and Caleb? She's like, now that I know, and Spencer's like, Aria. Like, meanwhile, Aria knows that Spencer's like in love with Caleb, and she's like, okay, well, if you met up with, now that I know you met up with Ezra, hey, Spencer, just a quick question. What's going on with you and Caleb? And Hannah's like, wait. What?
Which is, by the way, exactly how that would go down if this were an episode of Southern Hospitality.
Which is, Phoebe agrees, one of the best shows on television. It is the new VPR. They are young, broke, and hungry.
I know Caroline's been saying you don't have to watch and you don't to jump in at season 3.
Like jump in now, but we should go back and watch.
Absolutely should. I'm halfway through season 2 right now. We'll talk about it on Tuesday.
But I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, this is.
And by Tuesday, we mean the Tuesday that just happened, by the way, if you're listening.
Yeah. We just haven't recorded it yet. In theory, we are always like, we'll record the quick, easy one before we do the Tuesday episode.
Usually it is, but we're recording later in the day, and we used to do this, and you know what? That's what it is. We're just a little bit hululu right now. We're just like a little bit like hululu.
We're not sleepy. The sleep's out of our eyes. So... basically, yeah. So Spencer thinks that Ezra was inspired by her essay to go commit a murder that's already
and
been
also
committed.
wanted to protect Aria because he saw how upset Aria was as she was out. And Hannah's like, well, I don't want to make this worse, but like if Ezra did it, it is going to make you look really guilty too, Aria. And Aria's like, well, nobody can see the footage, obviously. So they're going to have to delete that.
This is another, and again, I hate to say it again, but this is classic Aria. I can't be implicated in this crime, so I'm going to implicate all of us because we're going to delete
you commit a crime,
footage.
Hannah. And then you're going to fuck your mom over, who, by the way, has done nothing but love all of us.
I will never and I understand the reflex and the impulse to want to delete the security footage. But I just feel like it takes one more thought to be like, doesn't that make it look weirder?
Yes.
Because also if they can recover the footage, then they're like, wait, why did you want to delete that footage of you leaving?
Yes, exactly.
Like it's just pointing in that direction, and why would you want to do that? But they don't think clearly. We go to the Hastings Castle, and Spencer is, and this is low key, like this is like hyper Spencer, because she's pacing the couch behind, like she's waiting for Vivi to like actually combust. She's literally like, oh my god, okay, so have you read it? Have you finished? And Vivi goes, why are you showing me this? And
Vivi's like, yeah, great paper. Anyway, like what? I'm busy.
It's like normal for Spencer. Spencer's like, I just found my Macbeth essay, and I just would love it if at family dinner tonight,
and I'm just saying,
you read it out loud, Mom, for everyone.
Do you guys see this? It says up here 10th grade. This is not a 10th grade level paper. But this is not a 10th grade level paper. I could have written this in college. Just saying. Anyway, so Vivi's reading it, and Spencer's like, listen, I think someone could remember this and somebody could connect the dots. And Vivi's like, what dots? Like, if there are no dots to connect, we're not going to be connecting any. And Vivi's just not worried, but Spencer's like, this is going, I promise you, Mom, this is going to ruin your campaign. She's like, I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah. Spencer's like, I can only do so much. I can only tell you so clearly. If you don't believe me, that's on you, but I'm telling you, you're going to lose.
It is written in stone. It is written in stone. For lack of a better term, this is fated to happen, yeah. And then Vivi's like, well, don't worry, Caleb is working with this new company called the Agency Group, and he started a narrative about you being bullied online on social media, so we are good. If anything comes up, it will already be diffused because you are the victim of cyberbullying. And it's like, okay, checkmate.
And we see a new side of Vivi because she says, Spencer, you are not a liability. You're my daughter.
I was shocked by this. I'm like, are these not the words Spencer's been dying to hear for her whole life? Where was this energy when Spencer was being preyed upon by every boyfriend Melissa had, you know? Oh my God.
Then we go to the cemetery and we get filled in on M's life with Wayne. We're sitting there with Wayne and we're hearing all about Emily's failings.
Yes. She flunked 2 classes. They took her scholarship away. She flew home. She wanted to tell Pam, but she didn't. And she's saying all this to her dad's headstone, and she hears a twig snap behind her. It's also nighttime, I believe.
Wait, this was sad. Emily says, I'm gonna fix it. I am fixing it. It
really did hurt my heart watching this. And then it's like, of all people to fucking encroach on this moment, I did not want it to be you, Shower.
Fucking deer in the head, like,
had to be
bitch.
you. And she gives Emily this like shitty little smirk.
Like, she does her fucking walk really fast and then to a screeching halt, and then move her head really fast with her wide fucking eyes.
She honestly gives like she's a robot. She's like a humanoid robot that's like built to look like a human.
She gives M. Thregan adult version.
Which, by the way, I did see the movie Companion, which is basically about this.
Me too.
Oh my God, you saw it? What'd you think?
I saw it last weekend.
But I do not like that girl from Heretic.
I know. I don't know why she talks like that. Because she has the look. And I do think she's actually a pretty good actress.
Gorgeous, and I think is too. But I'm just like,
I don't know why she talks like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And I didn't notice it as much in Heretic. But when I watched Yellow Jackets, I was like, why do you talk like there's cotton balls in your mouth and like your teeth won't open?
Yes. It's like, I don't like it at all. And it was distracting.
And anyway. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I don't love Jack Quaid.
Is that, okay. Yeah. I thought he was like fine. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I liked it.
I thought it was a pretty good, cool premise for sure.
I liked it. I liked Lucas Gage. He was fun.
Yeah, he was fun. Yeah. And that was a good
I liked that. It was reveal. A good twist. Like, I liked that storyline. I really liked it, honestly. Yeah, it was good.
So then we have like a little montage. And it looks like Shower's visiting Cece's grave because it's like recently dug up. And that obviously feeds into the Stockholm Syndrome.
Not dug up, recently laid to rest.
Yeah, like the grass. The grass
grave is
like,
not empty. That would be major. Phoebe's like, so Shower's just visiting it because it was recently dug up. Like, we don't know where Cece's body is.
remember when Allie's body was stolen?
Yeah, and then we just never really talked about it. Did we? Who knows?
Well, we did. Well, we found it on the murder train. Remember when
right.
Jason gets in a fight with someone and then knocks it over?
Right. Sorry, forgot. How could I forget all these crazy things?
So Aria's going through everything but the book on Ezra's hard drive.
This is giving the same energy as when I got that horrible text from that guy who wanted insurance, but not really. And he sent me his Google Drive, and it had a bunch of dick pics in it. That was crazy.
that should be an offense, like, a criminal offense.
I agree. I'm sorry. That basically is like exposing yourself to somebody without their consent. Like, I know. I'm plugging in. I just switch it to my iPad. If you just got a notification.
Caroline, you know those girls that you meet that it's like they just have the energy of someone whose phone is at 5% and also they don't turn on low power mode.
Their phone probably is on 5%. Yeah.
And they don't have it on low like here's one of my biggest pet peeves is people who don't utilize the lower power mode feature.
I do.
Because
I do.
I'm not saying you specifically, but people who don't. I'm like yellow was such a nicer color.
But
it doesn't send a shiver down my spine.
When I'm using my iPad and it gets on low power mode and I'm like doing this, I need the screen to stay on. So I do have to turn low power mode off. So
I know, but generally, I just mean people who click out of like no low power mode drive me crazy.
I'm a type A bitch, but I'm locked in a type B body and I hate it. Like, I hate it. I'm constantly just like, let me out of here, but that is where I live. So.
All right. We got
Aria's
this.
going through the flash drive. It's full of dead bodies, apparently. And then she ignores a call from Liam because she's like, this is my home. Hannah deletes
the camera footage.
Hey,
and
Hannah
then goes to bed.
Would never wear that to bed. She is wearing the
I thought
most
it was weird
heinous,
too.
like floral chemise.
Are you kidding me? Caroline, if you can hear me, I'm just going to finish. And text me and say if that's okay or not, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. If this is still recording, I'm literally going to keep going here. Okay, so here's the deal. Hannah would literally never wear this to bed. It's like, it's giving the illusion of like it's supposed to be sexy, but it just isn't. And then she's like reading a wedding brochure while Jordan sleeps next to her. I'm talking so fast because my thing keeps disconnecting. Okay. Lorenzo then visits Allie and she's like, okay, hey, I want to change my answer about my friends being involved with Charlotte's murder. Now I think that they are. And then we get what I guess is like some semblance of an A scene. Somebody is putting roses on a fresh grave, and then there's like a driver or something with a car, and they say, I'm sorry for your loss, and then this person gets in the car, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to read the synopsis for next week's episode. Give me 1 freaking second. Okay. The next episode, season 6, episode 13, the gloves are on. The girls are questioned by the Rosewood police. Hannah attempts to come up with an alibi to protect her friends and save her mother's job. Emily makes a confession about her activities during the last 5 years. The last 5 years. Love that musical. All right, guys, that's the episode. Thank you so much for listening. I am trying to go as fast as I can with this sign off. Please go give us a 5-star review if you love us. And if you don't, tell somebody else who might. We love you so much, and we will see you next week. And splat.